everybody, I am on Highland Beach, Maryland. This is a small neighborhood. It's a prominently African-American neighborhood and is the first African-American beach resort in the United States of America ever, since the founding of this country, or since North America in general has been here. So I wanted to come here because I went to Martha's Vineyard, and so many of you guys told me about the history of Martha's Vineyard before I went there, and I had no idea that Oaks Bluffs in Martha's Vineyard was a vacation haven for blacks during the segregation. But so when I did some research, I found out that the very first one was in my home state of Maryland. So in Anne Arundel County, right here on the Chesapeake Bay, Charles Douglass, the son of Frederick Douglass, decided to found this place. He went somewhere locally and was turned away because he was black, and because of that he decided to found his own thing, so his own resort. So he had a chance meeting with a farmer, bought his land, and founded what you see here, what I'm going to show you here today. And yeah, it's 0.08 square miles of land, but it has 40-something families and 118 people, and it has its own mayor. And I guarantee you haven't heard about this. So let's go on my little exploration of this little small place, and let's check it out together. Yeah, this place was built in 1893, and I think it was incorporated in 1922. We got, you see this golf cart here? So this is a way a lot of people in the neighborhood get around. I mean, they all have cars, and cars can be driven through here. That's how I got here. But, you know, when they come back and forth in the neighborhood, I think they ride their golf carts often. So this gazebo here is, I don't know if it's a replica, but it's not the original. They built one here before that. They would film, they would have, you know, films and play music, and the community would get together. I think erosion or something like that kind of took the other one out. But it's a historic place. This whole town is historic, and so occasionally you'll see some plaques on different things. This was a prominent woman, and in the community. And here's another person, Buddy Dean. He was a dentist in Washington, D.C., and he was well known amongst the community. Here's some houses here that you can see that were probably original and been modified since then. Here's another person coming up in the golf cart, and this is how people get around. So this house here is what I want to show you. Let's get up here. So this is the Terrell house, and this was a prominent family who was here in Highland Beach. And to be honest with you, I had no idea about Highland Beach. But the house I want to show you is this one. This is called Twin Oaks. This was built by Charles Douglass, and he built this for his father to retire and have a summer home. And Frederick Douglass clearly looked forward to moving here, and I'm going to show you how I know. So here's a little bench maybe they would have sat on. And this house is in the National Register of Historic Places, as the plaque here shows you. But how I know that Frederick Douglass wanted to live here and looked forward to it is right here on this plaque here. So it's called Twin Oaks, Frederick Douglass's summer home, which he never got to live in. Designed by Frederick Douglass so that as a free man, I could look across the bay to the land where I was born a slave. Built by Charles Raymond Douglass, 1895. So Frederick Douglass, I believe, died in 1894. But you can barely see it. But across the water there, that is the eastern shore of Maryland, and there was plantations and all sorts of farms there that slaves were. That's actually where Harriet Tubman, that's where Harriet Tubman is from, and also she built the Underground Railroad. That was some stops on the Underground Railroad. But he'd sit here in freedom, you know, beautiful land by the water, and be able to look across and say, that's where I came from. And you know, hopefully he would have been able to reflect on that. But unfortunately, he didn't get to see this house or live here at all. But you can come here and book tours here. I came here on a Saturday, so it's not quite open, but if you look in, you can see some historic stuff. There's Frederick Douglass back there. Pretty cool kitchen in here. You can see some of the old kitchen back there. Dishes and old sink, and yeah, it's pretty cool. And this is a pretty big, nice wraparound porch. Got the rocking chairs. What a nice chilling spot. So you kind of go in here, you can see that there's some old chairs and stuff. Kind of wish I'd come when I could have had a tour. I'm not sure if they would have allowed me to film during the tour, but you can see there's I don't know if you can make out the old typewriter here. So this is, I didn't know what to expect when I came here. I kind of looked up a little information on it, but as you know me, and if you follow me, I'm all about coming and visiting places and kind of finding out places as I come there. You know, there's nothing like visiting a place and experiencing it, because you can read all about it, but it's never the same as when you visit there. But around the neighborhood, you can see they have information on prominent, or not information, but quotes often from prominent African American people who were here. So we got Mary Church Terrell, which down there we saw a placard talking about her. What'd she say here? With courage, born of success achieved in the past, with a keen sense of responsibility which we shall continue to assume, we look forward to a future large with promise and hope. So they moved here with a lot of hope, you know, hoping to make their lives better, because as you know, there wasn't a lot of opportunity for black people here in the United States at one point. You know, some people sort of think that, you know, don't think very much about that other than blacks, you know, other people who advocate too. But you know, when you think about that and think of the perspective of the people at that time, you know, this having your own resort, the first one in the United States, was an exciting prospect. So that's why I'm excited to be here. So let's go explore a little bit more and see what some of these houses look like. So for a town with, I think there's 40-something families, and I think it fluctuates between 90 to 100 and something people. This is the town hall, and they have their own mayor. And just to think, most people around here probably don't know about this neighborhood. So let's check it out and see what kind of cool homes we have for all these old prominent African American families from the 18th century or 19th century. Look at this one. This one's here. Let's see if I can squeeze around this gentleman here. And yeah, some of them are pretty big. So they also have security here. That woman was part of the neighborhood security. We got a pretty big house with a nice porch there. And I'm sure that they're worth a lot. That's a nice one. That's a unique one there. I'm not sure which ones are historic and how long they've been here, but quite a while, some of these houses. Some of them since the year that it was founded, or in 1893. You see more golf carts. That's a nice one, pretty nice porch. And you know, people work in DC, or you know, people like Langston Hughes, Bill Cosby, Arthur Ashe, they've all lived here. And you know, and they've come here amongst you know, living in communities where they weren't free to go vacation, and even if they were, there weren't many people of their kind, you know, weren't many people who shared their culture, and they came here to be a part of something that you know, made them feel at home. And so we have a golf cart with some kids in it just riding around. And here's an old one right there with a nice porch there. And you can see in the distance there's some water. So that's the view they may have had when it was first built. And then we got some of these older ones here. Yeah, it's really nice. Now, would you guys move here? Let me know in the comments below, because it's really quiet here and it's very small. And here we are coming up on the water. So these are some of the larger, nicer houses. So Langston Hughes was also someone who frequented this place, and that's why you see the Langston Avenue. If there is no struggle, there is no progress. And so just in case you were curious and wanted to come here and hang out, you can't. Right here, it gives you the restrictions. So number one, this is a private beach and it's restricted to residents and their guests. So if you want to come, you better find some friends here. Swim at your own risk, no alcohol, no alcohol. So it says swim at your own risk, no alcohol use, no glass bottles or on the beach, no picnicking except by permit, no dogs on the beach, and beach area closed with Board of Commissioners. So this is a really small town with a mayor and commission and everything. And you know, they all decide what they want. So I'm sure it's you know, suited to what everybody likes here. So you can see there's a little pier for people to go fishing, and there's a couple of gentlemen out there now. And actually there's a, I can't remember the name of that center there, but that's a special place for Maryland wildlife. They protect the Chesapeake Bay, which this is the Chesapeake Bay out here. You know, people out here enjoying their day, crabbing, and to the distance you can see the Maryland Bay Bridge, taking you from the western shore to the eastern shore. And yeah, very, very peaceful, very quiet, and I'm sure a lot of good times have been made here. So can you believe this small piece of land was made into an oasis by all these, you know, prominent African Americans, and it's still here to this day. And there are people living here. You can see the people walking here, getting ready to come to the beach, and with their little golf carts, and they're ready. And it's not a whole lot. There's not a lot, as you can see, but it's enough for them. And you kind of can sit here and think about it, think about your day, or even reflect on what Frederick Douglass went through there on the eastern shore, where he was a slave at one point, and then became a marshal, an ambassador to Haiti, and then finally an advisor to President Lincoln. And that home that I showed you earlier was supposed to be where he'd sit here and reflect, but now we can do that. So what do you think? Would you like to live here? Would you come here to visit? And I mean, it's pretty quiet, but it's a really nice place. So I really appreciate you joining me. I love you guys, and hope to see you on the next journey.